Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about Ronald Araujo's contract renewal alongside Pedri, Gavi, and Gerard Martin. So this is breaking news. Barcelona will be renewing the contracts of very important players who are considered as the cornerstone of this project that Hansi Flick and Deco are building together. Fabrizio Romano has claimed that Araujo will sign his new contract at Barcelona this week, and most likely it will be happening tomorrow on January 23rd, 2025. Players like Araujo, Pedri, Gavi, and Gerard Martin are all prepared to sign new deals, and the next one is going to be Lamine Yamal. In terms of how long the contracts are going to be, the only clarification and details that we have gotten came through Araujo and Pedri. For Araujo's new contract is most likely going to be until 2031, and for Pedri it will be until 2030. This is coming from sources in the Spanish media. So I do think that Joan Laporta is doing the correct thing. Barcelona have to make sure that we renew Araujo, Pedri, Gavi, and Gerard Martin, and same thing with Lamine Yamal. There was a reason why Jorge Mendes was at Barcelona yesterday. It was because they wanted to talk about Lamine Yamal's extension, and I'm pretty sure the reason why Joan Laporta has been able to renew these players, it is because of the VIP seat sale, where they have been injected 200 million euros for the property. The players like Araujo, Pedri, Gavi, Gerard Martin, and Lamine Yamal have shown time and time again why they should have continuity. They are very important players and players who can really bring Barcelona a lot of success, and you have to be ready to pay up. You have to bring in better wages for all of these players. I'm actually very surprised to hear that Gerard Martin is being renewed as well. I do think that Gerard Martin is a great left back. He's solid. He's just not at the level of Alejandro Balde. In terms of his attacking quality, I wouldn't necessarily say it is one of the best, but in terms of defense, Gerard Martin is okay. He's really solid. I would give his defensive skill sets an 8 out of 10, but his attacking skill sets around a 4 out of 10. There is a lot of more room to grow for the player. He also recently just joined Barcelona about a year ago, so he is not a La Masia player. He is somebody who is trying to compete in the first team directly. And if Gerard Martin can become a better attacker in the final third, then great. That would be amazing, because that would mean that Alejandro Balde will get the competitiveness that he does need. There were rumors about a few months ago that Barcelona wanted Alphonso Davies. They will try and go for him, maybe if the wage bill does allow it. But now knowing that Alphonso Davies will be renewing with Bayern Munich and he will not be going anywhere else but to stay at Bayern, all bets are off. Barcelona will be looking at different candidates, and that is why Gerard Martin is being renewed. So speaking about these players, I do want to speak about Pedri and Lamine Yamal and how important they have been. And I am going to be referencing what they have done against Benfica, because a lot of people, yes, we're talking about Rafinha, they were talking about Lewandowski's goals, they were talking about Alejandro Balde's performances, but I do think that Pedri and Lamine Yamal have not been talked about enough, which is the reason why I am going to be bringing up their performances against Benfica. Starting with Pedri, I do think that Pedri had a massive impact in this game, and he especially was the player that led Barcelona to the victory in the second half. For example, in the first half, he only made 37 passes. In the second half, he almost tripled those numbers by adding 78 more passes in the second half, which meant that Pedri was much more involved in the second half, trying to glue Barcelona together. If there was one player who believed that Barcelona could come back over Benfica when it was 3-1, it was Pedri. Pedri is the one that raises the team's morale and attractiveness. He is the brain and the heart of the team. Pedri's position and role are crucial to Barcelona's success overall, making it the best decision to beat opponents, whether playing left, central, or as a winger. Pedri's vision, creativity enabled him to assume the ball and make fantastic passes and steal assists, and many would still say that Pedri did not do enough. He did everything. Barcelona against Benfica did struggle with ball circulation in the first half, with passes mainly going through Araujo or Kubarsi and then Jules Koundé, and then the midfield was just so disconnected. But then when Pedri got involved much more in the second half, when he became the outlet to the defense, that is when Barcelona started to dominate. Pedri's feints and deceptions enabled him to surpass opponents, change direction, and create space under pressure. Pedri's 7 passes and 6 key passes to the rival area gave him a lot of control in the game and allowed him to dominate the central zones. And Pedri's ability to play towards forward and dare to do what no one else would generate opportunities and create space for his teammates. Like I've said, Pedri changed everything. He gave out an assist, he created the most chances, which was a total of 6. He completed 100 passes, had 19 progressive passes, which was the most, 82 carries, which was the most, and his expected assisted goals was 0.9, which was the most. Here's also going to be the heat map of where Pedri did play. As you can see in the red area, that is exactly where he started to go in the second half. In the first half, you did not see a lot of red on that side, but in the second half, when Pedri shifted more to the flanks to play closer with Alejandro Balde and Rafinha, that is when Barcelona became much more effective. And one of the things that Pedri likes to do when he does go to the flanks and acts like a true left central midfielder is look for those crosses and long balls into the box that allowed for players like Jules Koundé, Lamine Yamal to be much more that effective. We saw that multiple times in the second half. Speaking about Lamine Yamal was also very effective. Many were saying that Lamine Yamal did not really do much, that he was very quiet, but I would beg to differ. Lamine Yamal completed the most dribbles, which was 6. He was the most fouled player in the game, which was 3 times, and he won the most duels in the match, which was 9. Here is also going to be the heat map of Lamine Yamal, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you look at his red area, right, you can see right here just outside the box. Part of the reason why he's so effective in that zone is because he takes a lot of shots from that zone. As we can see here on the match shot map, 3 out of the 4 shots that he took came from outside the box. This is something that Lamine Yamal is starting to do as he does evolve his game. He is much more daring from outside the box. He's not a player that simply wants to dribble all the way into the box and look for a shot or try to find a key pass into the box. Lamine Yamal really does like to shoot long shots, and he knows that he is good at it, which is the reason why he was able to score in the Euro against France, right? It was amazing. He was also able to do that multiple times in this season so far, and I believe that Hansi Flick is telling Yamal that you need to be more daring, score from outside. You have the long shots, your technicality is amazing, and that is what's going to allow for Lamine Yamal to get more goals in. And the best thing from all of this is that when Lamine Yamal does shoot the ball, like 50 to 60% of the time, the goalkeeper has to stop it and deflect the ball, and usually that ball hits another Barcelona player, and that Barcelona player eventually has the ball inside the box, leading to a goal most likely. So it does increase the chances of us putting the ball behind the net. So now let's transition towards this game overall, because I want to speak about the mentality of Barcelona today. Last night's performance was a testament to what Barcelona can do in very decisive moments. Barcelona's ability to stage a comeback from a 4-2 deficit to a 5-4 win has been highlighted as one of the standout moments under Hansi Flick for sure. We're going to put this game right next to the match against Bayern and the one against Real Madrid. This team refused to give up. Even when the odds were against them, Barcelona showcased a new level of resilience, and this was not commonly associated with a team in recent years. I have said this before, you bring any other version of Barcelona from the past 6 years into this match that we saw against Benfica, they would have lost this game. Barcelona for sure have the mental toughness to make anything happen. You could put this team in a 3-0 deficit, most likely they could come back with 4 goals. Even Hansi Flick described this game as crazy, emphasizing the importance of the mentality. And even despite facing a hostile environment and being behind, Barcelona's players maintained composure and continued to create scoring opportunities, and it all accumulated towards Rafinha getting the winning goal on stoppage time, and with Ferran Torres making that amazing assist to Rafinha. There were so many moments that did show that Barcelona were just on a different level compared to what we have seen in the past few years. For example, Eric Garcia scored the header. You're just like, oh my god, bro, like where did that even come from? Our most weakest center back was able to score from an aerial duel. Even Eric Garcia said that they did not lose face even when conceding early. Now, yes, of course, this was not the most perfect game. We do not like to see Barcelona concede in this manner, right? We conceded 4 goals in the end, and we made ridiculous mistakes at the back that we must fix moving forward, because making mistakes like this in bigger matches, like let's just say, for example, when we face Liverpool, or if we ever face City or Arsenal, you never know, right? In the future, in the Champions League, Barcelona may not be so lucky. Now, Barcelona could overcome it. We could, like, these players just don't take no for an answer, but in the end, we don't want to see these moments happen in the first place. We don't need heart attacks every week. Barcelona have to fix the communication between Szczesny, Araujo, Szczesny, and Balde, Szczesny, and Kubarski, and everybody else. But like I've said, the mentality is what made these players go over Benfica and produce a remontada. I do think that we also need to fix one more thing, which would be Barcelona winning the smaller matches like Leganes, like Cadiz, like Getafe, or any other team that's in the mid to bottom of the table. Barcelona have to win those matches and get 3 points, win 4-0, win 5-0. There is no reason for us to beat big teams like Madrid, like Bayern, or Benfica, or anybody else, but then we lose points against the smaller teams. It doesn't make any sense. I do think that these players at the back of their minds are thinking, oh, we're too good, we're gonna win this game, and I feel like they underestimate the opposition when it should not be like that. Barcelona do have to be much more consistent. So there is still a lot of work to be done, but so far so good. The fact that we have confidence that Barcelona can win more trophies on top of the Spanish Super Cup is a huge positive. Moving on towards the next conversation, and I do want to speak about a player that was once linked to FC Barcelona, and that was Diego Carlos. It says here, according to sources in Brazil, that Flick has requested the signing of an experienced defender in the summer, due to which the club then tried to sign Diego Carlos. The player was excited to join, but due to financial fair play restrictions, the move was discarded. And so yes, it's true, Barcelona couldn't really sign a lot of players in the summer of 2024. With the amount of stuff that Barcelona have done last summer, like selling players or selling assets, it barely just allowed us to register our brand new players, and that's about it. Bringing in someone like Diego Carlos almost did seem like it was impossible. Now, going into the summer of 2025, could we see Diego Carlos once again being linked to FC Barcelona? Because if Hansi Flick wanted him at that time, it's most likely going to be the exact same thing coming into the summer summer of 2025. And Diego Carlos is a center back that I do think can do great things for Barcelona for several reasons, right? His leadership at the back during the 2021-2022 season with Sevilla, right, because he has Spanish league experience, Diego Carlos was cited as one of the reasons for the team having one of the strongest defenses in La Liga and across Europe's top leagues. He also does have great physical attributes. He does stand at 6'1". Diego Carlos has the physical presence that is ideal for any center back, hence the reason why Hansi Flick does want him. Hansi Flick is a huge fan of having tall center backs who are also very athletic, so he would really help in aerial duels and physical confrontations, and his physicality allows him to be effective in defensive actions such as tackling and blocking shots. He recently just moved to Aston Villa, right? He transferred from Sevilla to Aston Villa for 26 million euros, and there were also other clubs that wanted him, like Newcastle, like United, and also West Ham United, which really did underline his reputation and adaptability. Now here's the thing, Diego Carlos is currently on loan and moved away from Aston Villa, and he did go to the Turkish league, and I believe the main reason why Diego Carlos moved away temporarily on a loan deal to the Turkish league is because Aston Villa believe that they don't need him, which could be a red flag. Maybe he's not been having a great season so far, but his contract does expire on June 30th, 2026, and if Barcelona want to go for him in this summer, he would be at a very cheap price because according to the transfer market, he is being valued at 11 million euros. Obviously, as time does go by and we go into the summer, it could go down to 5 million euros, which will be a bargain for someone like him. So if we analyze our current center back options, we have Araujo, we have Cubarsí, and we have Inigo Martinez, which is the most talked about player right now. Inigo Martinez has been having a great season at Barcelona so far, and especially under Hansi Flick, but he is going to be turning 34 in a few months. Maybe adding Diego Carlos and taking away Inigo Martinez could be ideal because Diego Carlos will be turning 32 in 2 months, so he'll be 2 years younger than Inigo Martinez going on into the next season. He's also taller and much more physical. Yes, there are still talks about Jonathan Tah maybe joining Barcelona. It's not a for sure thing, but I do think that if we can have Araujo, Cubarsí, Diego Carlos, and Tah, that would really give us a lot of reliability and athleticism at the back. Yes, I know that Christensen is also going to be there, but I do think that Christensen will be playing as a midfielder more than a center back. He's basically going to be taking Eric Garcia's position and role, and I believe that if we can have Christensen into the midfield and play within the double pivot positions, that would be great because now we'll have Bernal, Casado, and Pedri with Christensen on top. That is 4 total options within a position that requires 2 players, and with Frankie de Jong leaving, this will make a lot of sense. And so let me know in the comment sections down below, do you see Diego Carlos maybe making a move to FC Barcelona in the summer to add more depth to our squad? That is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.